Hi, I am here today to talk to you all about Marshall Traditional Schools. It is one of the very best schools you could ever send a child to, and we're here today to tell you a little bit about why. Some of the people that I brought with me are going to talk to you today about our traditions. We are called a traditional school, and sometimes people say to me, what exactly does that mean? Well, what it means is that we are a building that has a lot of firm traditions, things that we have done through the years, and those are things that we call a legacy of Marshall Traditional School. The people that are here with me today, they're going to tell you some things about what we've been doing through the years and how we have been helping kids to get everything they need. And so let me just start off by thanking, first of all, I would like to thank Mike and Steve. You guys know who you are. About a year ago, they took time, energy, money, all kinds of things to take us from the Hamilton Traditional School building over across a few streets to the Marshall Traditional School. It had been an intermediate center, had been a middle school building, but now now it's an elementary school. It's Marshall Traditional, and it is absolutely beautiful. And that's because of those gentlemen. And also, we had a Marshall Traditional School, a transition team. We worked tirelessly last summer to come up with plans and to get us over to the new building. And so I'd like to thank that transition team. I want to thank my teachers. This is kind of like the Academy Awards for us. We're so excited. No one has ever asked me to come and tell them about Marshall Traditional School. So today I am honored to be able to do that. We have the best teachers that you will find anywhere. Our paras are the cream of the crop. We have an engineer and custodian, cafe workers, our bus drivers, office team. Everybody works together to do what's best for kids. And that's one of the things. I'm Mrs. Sanders, the building leader, and one of the things I tell our staff all the time is that we want you to treat children the way you want your own children and grandchildren treated. Now, as a recent grandmother, I have three wonderful grandchildren. And so this would be a building, this would be a place where I would send my own children and my own grandchildren. And so to me, if you knew me, you would know how much that means. It's huge. I'd also like to thank my husband, Mr. Sanders, because he has believed in me and encouraged me to go ahead and be a building administrator. I can't tell you how many times that I just didn't think I could do it. But just like the students, principals, teachers, everybody needs encouragement. So we work together with our kids, we encourage them, and we let them know what they can do. And so I'll tell you that I have three sons that have come through South Bend schools. I have always said great things about our school corporation. I have always said to the other principals and people around me that South Bend Community Schools are on the precipice of greatness. And I think that now is the time for that greatness to actually be achieved. And I'll tell you a little bit more about why I believe that. But first, let me again acknowledge my three sons who are graduates of South Bend schools. Joshua Sanders. He was the valedictorian at Washington High School. How many know whenever you're a valedictorian, that just never goes away? That just never gets old. So he was the valedictorian. Daniel, who was an athlete and a scholar at Washington High School, who lives in Atlanta, Georgia now. And then Andrew Sanders, who was an athlete and a scholar at Riley High School, and now is a news producer at WNDU. So if I don't do a good job on this broadcast today, Andrew's going to have something to say about it. So please be patient with us. I had a professor in college. He used to say to us that everything speaks. Dave Hendricks, he used to say that everything speaks. Everything that you say and do that you don't say and that you don't do. And so I keep that in mind as we go forward with working with our students. It's so important how you talk to kids, how you arrive to the building every day. And so that's something that we share with our teachers. We want you to treat kids well. Even in this season where we know people are going through a lot of their own challenges, we still expect you to treat the kids well and to treat yourself well. And so I think also of Dr. Myrtle Wilson, who was a part of the corporation when the magnet schools came about. Hamilton Traditional School, when I walked into the building, was already a magnet building, and that's because of some of the work of Dr. Wilson and others that have come before me. So those are the shoulders on which we stand, and we're so grateful for their conceptualization, for their visualization, for their coming up with an idea of a magnet building. And what I said when I walked into Hamilton, which is again now Marshall, is that this is a public school that feels like a private school. And the reason why was because everybody there was just so on board with caring for kids, with making sure that they were involved in doing the things that are going to best help kids. I also would like to thank the principals of the South Bend Community School Corporation. We have got some of the best principals that you will find anywhere. So I know every principal is down here to talk to you about their school and how good their school is, and it's the best school ever, and all those kinds of things. But I'm just gonna let you know a little secret. If you'll kind of lean in, I probably ought to whisper it. Ours is the best. Okay, so I want you to think about it. But every building is good for, just different kids, and it just depends on what your child needs. I'd like to thank Dr. Todd and Dr. White and the central office team and staff, and all of you, Mr. Jones, is it Dr. Jones? I don't know. But those that are here, Susan Kubera, different ones that are here today that have helped us and have come up with this concept, because we couldn't all go to the Century Center this year, but we're here to tell you about our schools. And again, this is my first time to be able to brag about Marshall Traditional School. So I'm going to read to you a little bit. Our mission statement says that our community will cooperatively and creatively seek excellence by challenging students to achieve steady academic and social progress in a safe and nurturing environment. And I hope you're taking notes, but if you're not, just play the tape a little bit later and just go through and break that down, because there's so much in that statement. We talk about a safe and nurturing environment, and again, that's a place where you want your children these days. Our goal for students is that, according to, there's the PBIS strategies and all those things that you probably know about already, but we want our students to be safe, we want them to be respectful, and we want them to be ready to learn. We've added this year, we want them to be safe, and that's something that's always been important, but we've also added that in. We moved to the building last year. We've got a spacious and beautiful building. It used to be a middle school, so we have a huge media center and a library. We have three playground areas, and our building backs up to a park, and so there's also tennis courts and playground equipment that belongs to the city. So there are all those things that are part of Marshall Traditional School. Our classroom traditions, we're just going to go at this because, again, a traditional school. Our traditions in the classroom are that we have a student-centered instruction. We want our students to be We want them to be self-assessors. We want them to be self-responsible. We want them to be self-reliant, independent learners. And so we have all kinds of things to bring them to that. We do things in the morning like responsive classroom. We talk to them about being responsible and respectful and all those things. This year, in addition to that, we also talk to them about our PBIS strategies. We talk to them about just being socially and emotionally relevant and responsible, those kinds of things. I have a lot of notes on here, and I'm not going to get through all of these. My husband tells me I always over-prepare, but I want you to know all the things, or at least some of the things that I know about Marshall Traditional School. So we talk about conflict resolution strategies because, sometimes kids come and there can be challenges that go on in the classroom. So we want to teach kids how to get along with each other. We teach foundational skills and strengths that will be something that kids can use for their entire life. We want to create lifelong learners. So I have a few things that I brought down. One of the things that we're doing in agreement with what Dr. Todd is doing this year, he wants us to all have an impossible goal for our building. And so one of the things he has been talking to us about is literacy. And so what we're putting up in our building this year is what we're reading. We're reminding our students that not only are we their teachers, but we also want to be leaders in reading. So here's the book that I'm reading, and it is called Dancing in the Wings. It's all about a young girl and how she accelerated and how she was able to accomplish a dream, even when other people said maybe that she couldn't. And so we feel like it's important to read, but we also feel like it's important what you read and those kinds of things that will help you be a stronger person. So we've talked about that. We have up in our classrooms something called a student pledge. Our students all know this. Our students who have graduated and have left Hamilton know about our student pledge. And we start off by saying, remember today, I will act in such a way that I will be proud of myself and others will be proud of me too. And so we want to live our lives as students and in the school in such a way that others can look upon us and will be a good example for them. We've got some other books that I'll share with you a little bit later, but we do have in the classroom as well, we have a pledge, we have our mission and vision statement, and we have a social emotional vision statement. So those are just a few things. I think I'm over my time. Did you all, has anybody been timing me? I would like to thank Mrs. Genter for coming down here with us because she's my timer. And so if I've gone more than 5 minutes, then send Mrs. Ginter an email.
And thank me.
And we do thank her for being here. So our next presenter is going to be the world famous Miss Karen Payton. If you've ever been a part of anything at Marshall, you know a lot about Mrs. Payton. So I'm going to turn over the mic to her at this time, and thank you so much.
I'm not certain that I'm actually world famous. But I wanted to talk to you about some of the school traditions that we have at Marshall. I came from Marshall to Hamilton and then back to Marshall during Plan Z. So I've been a part of the Hamilton and Marshall family for most of my teaching career. So one of the things that I'd like to talk about is the first grade play. As a teacher, I know that the arts are super important to brain development. It helps students build better learning through reading, through cooperation, through team building and community building. And so in first grade, we have a tradition that we do a first grade musical, which is quite an undertaking. We do a musical called Coloring Book, and it's wonderful. I've done it 15 years at Hamilton, some years before that at Marshall when I was there as an elementary teacher, and we bring it to our new Marshall building. But it talks about how in order to color a picture, you all have to work together. And it has a beautiful little message, and as we do it every year, we invite our audience, which is our students, to sing along, and they do. And they remember the words way until we had some high school kids visiting one day, and they were singing along. So it's something that sticks with them. Because I love the arts, I also run an after-school drama club at Marshall, and we've also done that for 15 years. We use Disney musicals. It's an after-school program, voluntary for the kids, and it's wonderful. All of the staff is so supportive. It's totally voluntary as far as the staff goes, but we have several teachers, our music teacher, our art teacher, the 4th and 5th grade teachers come and help and do everything from sewing costumes to taking tickets. And it's just something that I feel like it puts our school apart from other schools because it's something that we do as a community and has been very, very successful. We've never had an empty seat. We usually have a waiting list to get in, so that's exciting. The other arts programs that our school offers are an Inspire Choir for our 1st, 2nd, and 3rd graders that our music teacher, Mrs. Osborne, runs, where they learn music and rhythms and all kinds of neat musical things and present that at our PTO meetings. And then for our 4th and 5th graders, she has the band project. So even though beginning band starts in middle school, she is so dedicated. She has an after-school program for our beginning band students to help them get ready for middle school. So those are some of our traditions at Hamilton, and I'm going to turn it back to Mrs. Sanders, right? Or I'm sorry, to Mrs. Chapo, our PTO president.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tia Chapo, and I am the PTO president here at Marshall Traditional School. I have currently a 5th grader at Marshall, so I'll be going into the middle schools with her next year. And then also I have a 3rd grader at Marshall, so I've been there quite a while. And when we were over at the Hamilton building. So I'm going to talk to you today about some of our PTO traditions that we have at our school. One of them is you can probably see our staff members that are here with us today. We're all wearing our spirit shirt for 2020. Each year we as a PTO are able to bless each of our incoming students and all of our students in the building, our staff, our bus drivers, our crossing guards, with a free spirit shirt. So that's been a tradition that's been long standing since we moved over into our new building. And so each year they get that, and then they get to wear them. Each month we have a popcorn spirit day. Now, a lot of PTO things have have had to be adapted for our current situation. So this year we do them virtually, and our kids that are in school still get to wear them once a month to participate in that Spirit Day. And then we also do a spirit wear sale every single year where you can purchase more spirit wear and different things that different items that the kids can still wear to school. Every year, traditionally in the fall, we have our Hornet Hustle, which is one of our biggest fundraising events of the year. As far as PTO goes, we don't like to do a whole lot of fundraisers here and there with selling chocolate bars and selling, gift wrap and those other things. It's become an annual tradition that we do our Hornet Hustle, where we simply ask our students to go out and get pledges. They earn rewards for the different amounts they receive. And then for our all-stars who earn $100 or more, we give them an all-star party. And then one day we get together and we have Mr. Nowak, our 4th grade teacher, is our DJ. And we usually get into the gym and the kids come in and they dance around and sing with Stinger, who you'll see in a little bit, and our teachers and our staff and volunteers. And we just have a really great time celebrating our school and our kids. And so that's our biggest fundraiser of the year. We also do Popcorn Fridays traditionally on those Spirit Days. Again, due to COVID restrictions right now, those are currently on hold, but in the past and hopefully again soon, we'll be able to implement those Popcorn Spirit Days, because if you have a Marshall student or know someone who is, you'll know that they really look forward to those and ask about them constantly. The other thing that we do is each month we do a dress down day where students can pay $1 and they can dress down and wear whatever they want to school. One of the biggest dress down days of the years is when they get to do PJs with the principal. That kind of kicks off our dress down days for the year, where in September students pay $1 and that $1 actually gets donated to a charity of Mrs. Sanders' choice, and they get to wear PJs and with the principal. And so all of the staff gets involved, and it's a really great tradition that we've established. We also, in the spring every year, have our fun fair. Think carnival games, prizes, raffle tables, things like that. And we get together, our parent volunteers and our board come in, and we do face painting and all sorts of things inside of our building. And it's a really fun night for our parents to connect and our community to come together and kind of see each other outside of school. So those are a few of the traditions that we have that I can share with you. If you have any questions about joining Marshall, I know that we would be happy to answer them. Or if you have any questions about the PTO, I would be happy to answer them too. And you can always check out our Facebook page to get more information about us. It's Marshall Traditional School PTO. So with that, I am going to turn it over to the famous Miss Meg to talk about Student Council.
Hi, everyone. My name is Megan Egerski. I'm known by the students as Mrs. Meg. I'm just going to talk to you. I am the Student Council sponsor, and I'm going to talk to you about some of the amazing things that our students are doing, not only in our school, but in our community. Towards the end of August, the classes from 3rd to 5th grade, they have an election where there's about 2 per class that are in Student Council. The first big thing that we like to do is we're involved in Riley's Homecoming Parade, where we get together, we make a float, part of the Pride of the South Side. I want to say that we won last year, so I'm a little excited about that. So of course I'm going to bring it up. Our trophy is up on display in the school. I'm a little proud of that. In October, we started a new Socktober where the students donate socks for the Hope Rescue Mission. It was our first time we had ever done it, and our students and families donated just under 600 socks, which was pretty amazing, especially for the cold months. Everyone needs socks, right? In October, we also do a Spirit Week. Some of the days let's see, we had Crazy Hair Day, Crazy Sock Day. My personal favorite was Dress as Your Favorite Storybook Character. The kids look great. We like to try to post pictures so families can see. We have a lot of participation with our students, and it's always fun to see them in the hallway. Especially Crazy Hair. It's always a lot of fun. In November, we partner with the Food Bank of Northern Indiana. It's always we do it where it's against all of the grades, kind of it's a competition between them. The incentive last year, I believe the first graders won, and Potawatomi Zoo brought some animals in for them. It was really neat. And I know the other grades were really pretty jealous. Along in November, we also held our own election. It was for the yearbook cover. So the student council members put that together, and everyone got a sticker, which I know if you voted in November, you don't always get a sticker. So that was the hot commodity. In December, we partner with Pet Refuge. It's we do a pet food drive, which Mrs. Osborne, our music teacher, that's really dear to her heart. So we've done that for years. In January, we do a hygiene drive where the students donate hygiene products for St. Vincent de Paul. It was the first year that we had done it, and the kids actually raised just under, I believe, or just over 1,000 items. It was pretty impressive, and Mrs. Merman's class received a pizza party for that. Some of the other things that we do is the Pop Tab Challenge for the Ronald McDonald House of Michiana. We do the Great Logan Nose On, where the student council members are also, they man and they work the bookstore that we have in the mornings, 3 days a week in the cafeteria. And during the month of March, we sell the Logan products like the green nose and the hats. The kids have a really great time with it. At the end of March, when they have the Great Logan Nose On, we've been blessed to have a table sponsored for our students, and it's a great time for them to see what exactly goes into what they're raising their money for. When we do these community outreach projects, we try to have a little bit of an incentive for if it's for a class pizza party, like when we had the Potawatomi Zoo. My favorite, though, last year was when we had the Pie the Guys contest. It was the Pennies for Patients for St. Jude's Children's Hospital, and they exceeded our $500 goal. So we had an all-school assembly from when we won the I Love to Read challenge. And while everyone was there, we drew names of the grade who had raised the most money, and they got to pie the male staff members. There are pictures online so you can see. Along with student council, we also have other clubs for our students. We recently just did a recycling club. Every Thursday, the students would go in, pick up the little green recycling bins and go dump them outside to help the teachers out. And it's a part of the Go Green initiative. There's also, like Mrs. Payton said, the drama club, which is phenomenal. I've had 3 children that have gone through school and they've all participated in drama club. It's amazing what she does with these students in the short amount of time that she has with them. And every performance is sold out. And also in the spring, around the same time as drama club, there's also Girls on the Run. And our students are so into it. We actually had 2 Girls on the Run teams last year. We've had college students come out and coach, parents were coaches, and it's not just where you go and you run a 5K. They teach really valuable lessons to these girls that they can take with them, into middle school and high school with them the rest of their lives. So like I said, I not only work at the school, I'm not only the student council sponsor, I've also had 3 children that have gone through the school. I can't recommend it anymore. I love this school. The staff is phenomenal. They're fantastic. I love it. And next is Mrs. Sanders. Thank you. And if you have any questions, I highly suggest following the Facebook page and checking out all the cool stuff that we do at our school.
Okay, I'm remembering the protocol of having my mask on and taking it off when I'm with you all. So thank you so much. I'd like to thank the ladies who came down here with us today. I hope that the things that you have heard have helped you to understand the heart of Marshall Traditional School. One of the things we put on our sign in front of the building was that heroes serve here, because we have a servant's heart at our building, and what we try to do is just to serve the kids the best way that we can. There are a lot of projects, a lot of programs and things. Academics are critical, and it is so important to us that your children are strong readers. We have a project, we're going along with this book, Every Child a Super Reader, and so our social emotional learning pieces are coming from this book. We're wanting our students to be stronger and stronger readers in our third grade. This year we've started a program with an organization called Next Steps that's helping some of our readers. We have won a grant for another group of second grade readers, and we just are just doing everything that the district has asked us to do in terms of making sure that we also have strong academics for our students, as well as things that will ground them for all the rest of their life. So if you do have any questions, I don't know that I see any on here, but at this time, if you have questions, you can just get in touch with us later on. But we thank you for taking the time to learn a little bit more about Marshall Traditional School. It is a place where kids can grow and excel. We say that we have traditional values and exceptional outcomes. And so I'd like to have one of my alums is going to come and I just want you to see this particular alum. So again, thank you.